Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you Game 3 in a series between oGs Top versus I am Lucera. Game 3 taking place here on Xel'Naga Fortress. This is the first time I've ever cast a game on this map, so hopefully it does not disappoint. I'm going to take a quick look at the map and try to get highlight a few interesting tidbits. There is a very easy to take natural expansion, which is common to most StarCraft 2 maps, and then your third is actually a little bit more exposed. There is another expansion down over here that you can try to take, but it is a rather far distance away with a lot of just walking patterns and some brush as well. So that is going to be very, very interesting. Meanwhile, your third base here is much more exposed to the center. So taking a look at the map, if it is a long macro game, I would actually suggest that this map favors Terran. The problem with a map like this and its relative sizes, this map feels really, really small. So with a small map, and then also being forced to build your third base either close to your opponent or even closer to your opponent here, this is actually going to be really bad news for Lucera, and I'm not quite sure how he will play this in order to get back into this game. You can see that this expansion here is very close to the Xel'Naga cavern, or this Xel'Naga pylon, or whatever this is. Yeah, I guess Xel'Naga obelisk right there. And then this expansion is a little bit further away, and so is this expansion. So really, really not looking out for Lucera. Anyways, let's take a look straight into the game. You can see Top spawning over here on the top left-hand side, and it looks like he will be building a fast command center here on Xel'Naga Fortress. I really like this play. The reasoning behind this is that it forces the Zerg to try to get up another base rather quickly, and because of the layout, that is going to be rather difficult to set up another base. You can see currently no refineries at all, which normally indicates that it will be a very, very fast command center, as an SCV now makes its way down in order to perhaps set up a command center or do a little bit more scouting, but there's already one in play down here, so not quite sure what the SCV and the Marine intends to do here. The Marine could have perhaps shut down that one drone. The supply depot needs to be raised up, otherwise that drone will be able to sneak inside and see everything it needs to. And now there it is, a Marine also once again rallying out. We are going to have a bunker set up down over here, and now the hatchery is about to be completed. Drones are already coming off the mineral line. I cannot imagine Top will be successful at all. Most likely he will just lose 25 resources for the bunker, and then yeah, perhaps even losing another Marine, as well as those Marines can get easily surrounded. Down it goes. Those drones easily shutting down an early Marine, as two SCVs are now making their way out once more. The drones able to deter this, and now the SCVs look like they're trying to really get back into this game. Perhaps one of the SCVs should be on auto repair to try to repair that one particular bunker, or that one particular SCV and bunker, but the Zerglings really going to finish it off. Top gonna build a command center here. We are getting double refineries now, so Top will be trying to expand and get back into this economic play. Meanwhile, taking a look inside Lucera's base, he does not yet have metabolic boost. Instead, he trained up some more Zerglings and drones, so that will be a little bit longer of a delay until he is able to fend off or get the faster movement speed that really helps those Zerglings deal more damage. Back over here, the Zergling now testing that front door. He does spot that command center there, as this Overlord may try to suicide its way in just a moment. We are going into more factory and barracks, so perhaps with an additional barracks, we may see that standard Marine tank play, which is ever so popular on all the ladders and all the servers, as Lucera now sets up another spine crawler to ward off against any early harassment. Spine crawlers, one of their best benefits against Marines is that they do have 2 armor, so even though they have 300 hit points, with that 2 armor, they essentially reduce the damage from 6 down to 4, so it does take quite a number of shots for those Marines to shut them down. Top now attempting to establish his expansion on the low ground. A Marine will be making its way out as well. The Marines able to shoo away that poor Zergling there, as the double factory also now coming into play. I don't see, yeah, the Overlord is still over here, and it is not really scouting out anything. We may see perhaps Blue Flame Hellions off of this double factory. Those Blue Flame Hellions would be able to get in a lot of damage. And now that we already have another command center by top, I believe top is going to really be able to put a lot of pressure against Lucera, and Lucera will not be able to set up that all-important hatchery. He needs to get a stronger army, and he's going to perhaps try to do a little bit of 2-base defending with that Baneling's Nest. We are teching the tier 2 already as well. That is definitely going to help Lucera, obviously realizing he cannot establish a 3rd base all too quickly, and now trying to catch up in the overall tech game. 45 over 54 compared to 44 over 44 as well. Army compositions, we do see that top is currently in the lead with a stronger army. And yeah, 600 compared to 75. We are getting that Blue Flame research, as I mentioned, and training this all off of 2 factories. So we are going to easily have 4 to 6, maybe even 8 Hellions by the time this comes out. And I'm not quite sure what Lucera is saying there because I don't read Korean. Baneling's Nest, and now Banelings are now being morphed into play. Detected tier 2 has completed. We are going into a Spire, so the Spire should be able to shut down those Hellions rather quickly, as the Infernal Pre-Igniter about 15 seconds away from completion. You can see the 4 Hellions already on the move, a 5th Hellion now joining in on this squad, and we are going to have perhaps a lot of drive-bys. And yeah, unless top makes does absolutely no economic damage here, I can't imagine what Lucera is going to try to do. That is the unfortunate possibility, as he does move out to try to check out this expansion location. He does see nothing, as now the Marines are now going to perhaps try to engage. The Banelings are going to be able to just take down a lot of those Marines. There you go. And a decent trade, a decent split, as the Hellions now making their way up to that high ground, and now going to go after so many of those drones. Drones are just getting torched rather quickly. You can see more drones getting taken down as Banelings are trying to make their way in. The Banelings may be able to shut down, yes, some of those Hellions, and now trying to get another round of kills, and nicely done, taking down many of those workers. 13 workers killed in all for the trade. A decent trade. We do have top, who did fall behind in terms of his overall resources lost, but it really did benefit him more, as he's now sitting on 40 SCVs compared to 39 with the help of 1 additional mule. He would have liked to keep those Hellions alive a little bit longer, but he is happy at the fact that he was able to reset the game a little bit. But the Zerg is now swarming in as well, and the Marines not going to be able to fend off against all these Zerglings. The Zerglings may be able to swarm by, get some damage. Oh, the supply depot is going to raise up in time. It doesn't look like it, but the Hellions now coming back around and finishing off those Zerglings. So Lucera now once again back up on drones, 48 to 42. And this is still all off a 2-base play. The level 1 flyer attacks now coming in. Missile turrets now being established. So this tech in the Mutalisk may not be that beneficial at all. You can see that the Hellions were able to get in a lot of scouting information, spotted that Spire, and now we are going into Thors. And if it wasn't for the fact that Lucera is building the exact units that he doesn't, that he can't, or he shouldn't be building, I would say that the game is even. Army combination 725, 725, 700 versus 125, as the Banelings or the Mutalisks are now finally in the air. 8 Mutalisks comprising up almost 90% of the army, as those Mutalisks look to now take to the skies. There is already 2 missile turrets nearby, 1 Thor on the low ground, another missile turret here, and another missile turret here. I can't imagine that much damage actually being dealt. You can see that the missile turrets are now trying to be shut down. SCVs are coming over to try to repair. It doesn't look like it will be repaired in time. Top not allowing the SCVs to completely surround, as a Thor now comes into play. And that Thor may be able to shut down perhaps some of those Mutalisks. Is the Thor actually going to be able to spot them is the key question. And the Mutalisks are now stuck in the back right there. That is the worst position for those Mutalisks now, as all it would take is another missile turret in order to limit the amount of damage. You can now see that the Mutalisks are coming over here. It looks like a new missile turret will spot it, and now SCVs may come over to try to repair. Another Mutalisk, I believe, was shot down out of the sky, and the army composition just so strong for top. And are we going to get a flyby? Yes, a very, very unfortunate flyby. More damage being dealt. Oh, I think top could have gotten another round of javelin missiles, but ended up not being able to, as now that Thor is retreating home, getting under or getting near these Marines in order to protect themselves. This hatchery over here is now coming into play. It is rather exposed, but he still does not know about it. So Top, unless he sends out an SCV, which he is doing, is now going to be able to scout this out. The Overlord is not going to spot the SCV in time. And with this SCV now coming in, it will spot this hatchery. And now a lot of easy drive-bys could be coming underway. The Zerglings, sorry, the Mutalisk able to finish off that one SCV, but the scouting information has been determined already. A drop will now be moving in. And the medevac does have... Excuse me, the medevac does have Marines with both Stim Pack and Combat Shield. The Marines are now dropping over here onto the high ground first. Does the Overlord spot it? No, he does not spot it at all. And now finally incoming with those Marines. Those Marines now looking to get some damage onto this one hatchery, taking down some of those creep tumors as well. Zerglings are now going to be pushing over as well. And now the Marines going after the Mutalisk instead. One Mutalisk now down. It looks like the medevac will be able to retreat rather nicely, as the Marines are now getting regrouped and just trying to get into a better position. We are now going into into burrows, so we may get a couple burrowed banelings, and those burrowed banelings would be just very, very key in this upcoming fight. The Marines, are they going to get melted? It looks like they might be, and oh my gosh, all of those Marines melted. The Thor is now getting splashed apart, and Lucera with a brilliant trade right there, and he has somehow evened up the game. Wow, that was a brilliant trade or a lapse in judgment by Top. Regardless of who, the game is now once again fairly even, as the Marines are now trying to shut down all of these creep tumors, making sure that it does not give movement speed bonus to those banelings. Siege tanks are once again in position. There are no Thors to be had. And without Thors, those Mutalisks may be able to finish off. And now Zerg is now coming in and swarming in from the far side, taking the long way around. And this is going to be huge. The Banelings are burrowed on the far side, and that may be a very, very bad story. No, as the Zerglings are now running in here, getting in some damage, and I'll be able to shut down this location here. The Banelings may melt. Are they going to melt any of those Marines? Yes, able to melt off some of those Marines, but not enough of them. This hatchery will fall, but this base trait is not going to be good, as the Zerglings are now swarming in, going to finish off the rest of this siege tank there, and this siege tank as well, perhaps. And Lucera, playing an absolutely brilliant game, looking to perhaps take this game back. The Zerglings are now going to just melt at the hands. But wow, what a game between these two players. 27 SCVs compared to 52 drones. And Lucera, with what I would consider a map that favored Terran, looking to clean this game up. Top looked like he got a little bit too confident, as the Banelings are now rolling through once more. The Banelings may be able to just sacrifice themselves onto the siege tanks. Yeah, taking them down. Down go the siege tanks. He knew that not much could be done. 9 Mutalisks now once again taking to the air. Another command center being built, as more SCVs really need to be trained. But I believe the economy definitely in favor of Lucera now. Top looking to even up the matchup by perhaps denying this expansion here. You can take a look. There are a decent number of Mutalisks in the air. Creep tumors now being laid down in abundance by Lucera, trying to get a very strong play. Double Banelings all the way, in order to melt perhaps a Terran army if they try to move out and take down this location. This hatchery in a rather dangerous and low situation there. The Mutalisks are now going to come by and easily finish off that medevac. The medevac already taking a bit of damage already. Down it goes. The Mutalisk getting off 3 rounds of attack, but unable to destroy any of those Mutalisks. And that was not a good exchange for Lucera. Or sorry, that was a great exchange for Lucera, not a good exchange for Top. Banelings are burrowed, and now in comes another drop by Top. Top looking to get some drone kills. Yes, we'll be able to get a lot of drone kills here, perhaps taking down some of the key tech buildings as well. The Zerglings are now swarming in. The Zerglings are not able to get a decent surround here, but there is just too many Zerglings, and with that level 2 weapons upgrade, able to melt through those Marines rather quickly. The Marines are not upgraded at all. Siege tanks now being repaired once more. The medevac getting shut down by Mutalisks. And I believe unless Lucera does absolutely something horrible to himself, like manually detonate all of his Banelings for no reason other than to see a green acid goo, there's not much that can happen. But then again, we can see a scanner sweep there. Are these Marines going to perhaps move out and get Marines get moving out. You can see there is a little bit of a splash there, as now the Marines realizing that they took a lot of damage from a splash attack from those Banelings, and the Mutalisk once again backing off. Is it gonna be enough though? 138 versus 111. Harvester count still 29 to 4, 29 to 58. There, I believe, are triple orbital commands. No, where is that other orbital? Yeah, another orbital command needs to land here. Scanner sweep revealing a couple creep tumors, trying to make sure that this expansion does get set up. And now another siege tank has been destroyed. The Mutalisks are getting caught in a very dangerous situation. Zerglings now swarming in from the far side, though, able to get more damage onto those Marines, and now running straight inside the base. Perhaps one missile turret will get taken down. It looks like it will get taken down, as the Marines are still trying to engage. Another group of Marines chasing after those Mutalisks. The Mutalisks outside of the range of that missile turret. And now the Marine trying to chase its way in. So this game, 64 to 24. Those mules are definitely helping top stay in this game. Scanner sweep quickly revealing a couple Banelings that will not be able to melt any Marines. But another round of Zerglings and Banelings, and a lot of Banelings coming in. What? 32 plus 6, 38 Banelings about to find their target and perhaps shut down and do a bit of a flank here. If the Zerglings just run straight inside this base, that is going to be absolutely horrific, as these Zerglings are sitting right there. Banelings are now getting melted away by those siege tanks, and now down this goes as well. The Banelings are simply just going to roll up the ramp, perhaps bust through their front door. Down it goes, and now the Banelings are going to be able to supply block and get a lot of damage here. It looks as though there is still a bit of a counter pressure here movement, but the Banelings are now going after all of these buildings. Supply depots getting melted apart, and now oGs top sitting at 186 over 105. No real concern at all. The Banelings could easily burrow themselves right there, perhaps shut down. There is the burrow. Down it goes, and there are a couple Banelings right here. Will that Baneling be able to detonate? No, it will not be able to, but Top has lost the majority of his units in or majority of his production buildings. Now everything in his base is on fire, as the Zerglings are once again going to re-engage. The siege tanks being very careful to re-establish a control at his only mineral patch, as now the Mutalisk coming straight into the main base, taking down Medivacs as well. And I'm not quite sure what these Marines and tanks can do. The drones are doing a bit of long-distance mining, as this hatchery was taken down as well. So both players just suffering a lot of damage, and I always want to see Banelings melting Marines in high-level play. So where is that? Where are they going to come from? The Banelings now rolling in. The Marines stimmed, but not enough. And now more units, more damage has been dealt. The drones just trying to mine, but unable to get any additional resources at all. The Mutalisks may be able to come in. Zerglings now swarming in as well. Down go the rest of those units there. The Medivac now down, and Lucera with a dominating army lead. Nothing really coming in from production for Marines against the swarm of Mutalisks in the air. The flock of Mutalisks will be able to shut down this orbital command, and I believe the GG will be coming in just a moment, as we do not see any real mining happening at all. Only, what, 4 mineral patches here and 1 mineral patch here to be had. The Marines now once again falling apart, and there is the GG by Top. 22 food compared to 94. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed Game 3 in the series. Stay tuned for Game 4.